Hey guys, what's going on? Squirrely. My apologies if I sound a little stuffy. That's because I am, but the show must go on, and I wanted to make a video about something that I think is pretty interesting, coming from a trading perspective. But today we're talking about Unusual Taunts and the Death of Unusual Taunts. I know it's kind of dark, it's kind of sad, it's kind of grim, but we gotta talk about it. So there's two kind of different ways to look at this. You could say, look on the positive and say, hey, there's lots of unusual taunts now, and they're cheap, so a lot of more people can afford them, and you can make a lot more cool sets and matching colors and effects and stuff. I agree, that's pretty cool. On the other side, for the traders, the people who like high-tier stuff and collecting rare things and paying a lot for something that's cool, you know, just kind of gives it more aura when something's really rare. It's just really cool. Having an unusual is something that should be rare and should be exciting, and you kind of have to pay for that. So that's kind of my opinion in general. You know, really depends on which perspective you want. Overall, it kind of stinks because there's just so many of them. But basically what happened is Valve came out with Unusual Fires, which seemed kind of cool at first. But what they did is they increased the unbox rate. So I think for most people, I heard 2% or more was kind of the unbox rate. And what happened is people were just unboxing these like crazy. I had friends that only unboxed like 10 crates and got like 2 or 3 of these Unusual Fires. I'm like, what in the world? So I remember seeing people posting pictures and being in servers and people unboxing these things like literally every 10 to 20 crates unboxing an Unusual Fire. I was like, oh my god. So I noticed it right away. I said there's going to be a bubble. Things are going to go nuts. I started selling my Unusuals as fast as I could. I had collected the Fresh Brewed Victory taunt for Soldier, which I thought was pretty cool, and they were pretty expensive, the higher tier ones. I started selling those before they dropped because I could just see, and if you have backpack.tf Premium, you can kind of watch things happen because it show you who owns things and how many exist. So I knew they were going to tank in price. Anyway, so where we are now is a ton of people unboxed them, and we went from, you know, having high tier taunts being worth anywhere from like 500 keys to 1,000 keys to being worth like less than 100 keys. So I'll give you guys an example. We can look at it. Let's go to like marketplace.tf and look at the deals. So these are the best deals going on, marketplace.tf, highest to lowest, and just look at it. It is all Unusual Taunts. Every single one is Unusual Taunts. And these are like 20% off, 40% off, 86% off, 85, 77. And look, I mean, these are high tier taunts. What is Holy Grail Conga? God tier all class taunt. It's a continuous taunt, meaning, you know, it goes on and on and on until you stop it. It's not like a short-lived taunt. These are, you know, a lot of these are all class taunts, super cheap. I mean, you can get some really nice taunts for dirt cheap now. Also, if you take a look at the classifieds, so look at the classified. The cheapest one right now is just 7.5 keys, which is crazy that you can get a taunt for that cheap. And how many pages of taunts do you guys think there are? I'm on page 1. Let's go to the very last page. And we have 162 pages of Unusual Taunts. So the people at the end of these pages are asking for the old prices basically. I mean, you can see like this guy's asking for 400 keys and they're selling them, not this exact one, but they're selling other ones on the market, like a Victory Lap for $47. So these are probably going to go for, you know, 25% of what people are asking. But just to give you an example of the sheer number, 162 pages of Unusual Taunts. It's insane. If you look at price voting, so these are just Unusual Fires, 2 ones that are up for bidding right now. This one's being priced from 132 keys to 20 to 23 keys. Wow. If you want to look at an example of the prices just dying, this is the Fountain of Delight Pool Party, which I think was the most expensive one not too long ago. It was, I think, 1,000 keys for a while, and you can kind of see on here 875 to 900 keys, and then it got recycled at about 1,100 keys. The years are kind of out of order, but so it's over 1,000 keys, and then it slowly dipped to 800 keys. And then it dipped more recently. So 2 years ago, 800 keys. Now it's 200 to 300 keys, and it keeps going and going and going until now it's 92 keys. And what happened was, if you look over here, if you do a search for Pool Party, look how many exist. 480 Unusual Pool Party taunts. That's crazy. I think when they first came out, there was like less than 20. There's like 13 or something like that. And so the high tier ones, people were collecting, saving for them, and kind of, you know, paying whatever it took to get these. And they were like, when you saw one of these, you're like, holy cow, that dude dropped a lot, you know, of keys or cash or whatever to get that taunt. Now it's like everyone's got a million taunts. So another example, if we type fresh brewed victory, 703 unusual taunts. Holy cow. I think there was like 60 or 70 when I had them. So you can just kind of see how the price got destroyed. If we look on Marketplace here, if you type in unusual fire, do a search, I mean, there's just so many of them. You know, there's 6 pages of these, and there's just like a ton of every single kind. You can buy unusuals for, you know, less than 20 bucks, which is nuts. If you look at the taunts themselves on here, I mean, look at this is priced lowest to highest. So for 18 bucks, 20 bucks, you can get unusuals, and it's not like there's 1 or 2 for sale like there used to be. 30 for sale, 50 for sale, 40 of them. I mean, there's just so many. They just flooded the market. So I guess if there's something to take away from this, you know, this is a prime example of supply and demand. When there's too many supply or too much of a supply, the demand goes down, the price goes down. That's just how it is. So if you think about a new taunt comes out or a new effect comes out, someone unboxes it, they say, whoa, this is the only one I've seen, let's list it for 400 keys. And then pretty soon someone else unboxes it and they list it for 300 keys because they see the other guy and they want to sell it before him. And then boom, 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 it keeps going down the list until there's 50 of them for sale. And then, you know, the lowest guy's asking for like 30 keys. So it's like, it's just insanity. They're all over the place. There's the only taunts I think are kind of safe. They're still cheaper, but kind of safe is the really, really themed one, like the taunt buy a life for a spy that has a not dead presidents, but the money one. I forget the name right now. So it really depends on how you look at it. If you think that having more taunts and the price goes down helps everybody because they can afford them more, and there's a better unbox ratio, and you have a lot more random people just enjoying unusual taunts, that's cool, I guess. I agree. But if you're a trader, it's kind of like, eek. I mean, there's not very many things that the price died or tanked this hard. I mean, a lot of things have dipped in price, have moved in price, but nothing has just gone from like super expensive, you know, something worth 1,000 keys to a couple years later it's worth less than 100 keys. So that's crazy. Another thing to take away from this is nothing is safe, right? At any time, Valve can make changes to something. You know, I thought unusual taunts were pretty safe. I had no idea they were going to do this thing and just make 1 million of them come out in like a month. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video on the Death of Unusual Taunts, talking about how unusual taunts are now up to 85% off. Pretty crazy. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts or feelings about this. Were you affected by the taunt apocalypse, or do you have any other items that you invested in that got completely destroyed and tanked in price, or maybe someone resuggested a price and it just was just horrible and you lost so much profit? So feel free to share your stories with me, and I will get started on the next video. Thanks, guys.